question.
I think it really depends on the person you're dealing with. Because some guys, I also had the same sentiments as Kuda, but I meet some people who I'm thinking, oh wow, you're actually like a level-headed person for a 20.
Because I will tell you, 45-year-olds who are childish.
Imagine a 25-year-old sweeping you off your feet.
You know what?
And he might actually be making really good money. He might actually be taking care of his family and whatever. Compared to the 45-year-olds you're exposed to who are actually childish. Hey guys, this is Anesu, aka Nyati Shonga.
Hello, my name is Chido, aka Chizzy. Wagwan, Advocate Amanda here. Hi everyone, this is Kuda, aka Cooks. Hi, and welcome to As Told by Us, the podcast. This is a weekly podcast where 4 professional millennials discuss living in Zimbabwe and trying to figure life out.
Someone once told us the grass is much greener on the other side.
But from where we're standing, our grass is green. Subscribe, like, share, comment down below.
So, you're dating a guy. You've been dating for a year. Let's put it at a year. Let's put it 8 months.
Okay.
You're dating someone for 8 months. You want them to officially ask you, will you be my girlfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Right? They have not. You're now 8 months in. We had this conversation at 2 months mark. We had this conversation at 6 months mark. We're still at 8 months. We've been proceeding. At what point do you get the message that he's not going to ask? Or are you reading too much into it and asking is ridiculous? At this point, if you've met all my family, you've met all my friends, people at work know you. It's been a year at this point, almost. I know your family. I know your friends. You also have the dynamic of we stay at each other's houses often, right? Is being asked an important factor in this relationship? Do you require it to be asked? Or do we read between the lines and say he must be serious because he's invited me? What do you...
Sorry to laugh.
Is it important or not? Because maybe, like, dudes may not think it is.
I think it's the wrong question. Just the asking or whatever, that's just semantics. But if you're in this state, he's not serious. Because someone who's serious, you will know exactly what's going on. There won't be a point where you have to sit down and ask yourself. But if he's keeping it ambiguous, then that's what it is. It's ambiguous. She's just a girl that he's having fun with. But
I'm just a girl.
That's exactly what it is. That's your whole answer. Because getting him to ask, right, all you're going to do is push him into a corner where he feels like he has to say certain words to appease you. And he's going to say it.
But then the actions aren't going to align with whatever was. So if he wants to keep it ambiguous, he'll say, okay, yeah, sure, be my girlfriend. But then, I don't know, he's not gonna...
But his actions up until this point have been consistent. Right. Okay. So he's done all the boyfriend things without asking you to be an official girlfriend.
Oh, let's be specific. What is the consistency that we're talking about?
And also, what's the definition of dating? I think I also want to ask this, like, what is really the definition of dating? Is dating when you are just like talking to a person every day and you occasionally go on dates? Mm-hmm. Is that dating? What is that?
How is that different?
She said they live together sometimes.
Well, I'm just saying that they stay, right? So you have your own place, right? You have your own place. So whoever you're dating sleeps over 2, 3, 6 times a week.
However many times.
Yeah. You go to his house and sleep over 2, 3, whatever. So there's 7 days in a week. You're at his house for 4, you're at your house for 3. right? He's on the phone. You guys are together. You're on the phone regularly,
talking.
daily, right? There's always communication. There's a work thing. Amanda, come with me. You have a work thing. Babes, come with me.
Okay, what am I being introduced at work?
A girl I'm dating.
That's what I'm gonna tell you. This is my girlfriend Amanda.
No.
Hi guys, this is Amanda.
No.
Hi girls, this is Amanda.
This is Amanda.
Then you are Amanda. That's your answer.
Yeah, I would say like it depends what like boundaries you've also set. Like if you say, okay, after these few months I expect to be, someone's girlfriend.
Ask it.
I expect to be asked to be someone's girlfriend. And then
This is Amanda.
you don't set the boundaries. Yes, jiggy. After 12 months you will still be in that same space because you haven't like set those boundaries.
But do you think then that setting boundaries is almost like giving you an ultimatum? Ask me or go.
I think it depends.
I think setting boundaries is not about the other person, right? It's about you and what you can accept, right? So I think that should be our starting. Like, if I've set a boundary, it's about me
Yeah. And my expectations.
and my expectations. So if you then fail to meet that expectation, then I need to be okay with walking away. But now the problem is, like, I don't know how to say this in English, but this person, what if this person is sparking me so much?
Say it in Shona. I want to hear what you wanted to say in Shona.
what if this person, I wouldn't that so much?
But I do feel like that then is the trap, right?
And
like
that
I'm
is the
really
trap. And I think
enjoying.
that is
That's
a
the
genuine
difference.
trap.
That's the difference between a boundary and an ultimatum. Because an ultimatum happens after the fact, where you're saying, okay, we've already crossed this line, but then if you want to continue crossing this line, I need you to say these words to me so that I can
Feel better about
feel better about something. And I think a real boundary is what's going to protect you from being in that situation from the first place.
Do you think age factors into it? So, when I was in high school, all my boyfriends asked me, right? And he had to ask me nicely also. Like, it had to be a good ask, right?
like dropping by.
No, it had to be a good ask. I needed a gesture. Like, I needed
Flowers.
I needed the whole thing, right? The mandems in uni,
I'm going with the flow.
That was the time.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause there were so many options.
There were options, child. And then post uni, now you're back. I'm trying to think. Sorry, I'm really going through the register. And I'm thinking, like, did you ask? Yes. So in the beginning, I think all of those post uni, there was no ask. I did not require a gesture. I required the clarification. I think that's what I needed. But also because I'm standing at the time, I have options, you have options. So if I'm going to remove myself from my options, I need clarity as to what it is that we're doing moving forward. If we're going with the flow of it, I might probably even stay, right? Because like Chido said, it was stuck. Right. But at the very least, then I know if I am going to have a girls' night, whether it ends as a girls' night and who it ends with, right? I needed the clarity, right? Whether I'm removing myself from the board completely or I leave the options open, right? Now that I'm older.
How old are you?
When this episode drops, I'll still be 29. So I am 29. However, next week might be a different conversation. Now that I'm older, I think I would probably I still need the clarity. I still need to know. But that for a different reason than...
What would be the reason?
I think the reason is for me to see where we're going, if we're going anywhere, right? my plate is very full. I am very busy. For me to now go with the flow, see what's going to happen in 2020.
You got
I like for how long? Because you're going to want to see me regularly. Like I'm saying, my calendar is full, right? I'm taking away time that I could have been doing something else to come have lunch with you. Why? What am I doing it for? Right? I could be, there's so many other things. Not even people. The fact that I can leave my house already for me is a big deal. I will not leave my house for anything. You know what I mean? Like it's fuel, it's toothpaste, it's outfit. Am I getting dressed or can I show up in sweatpants? You know what I mean? Like if I know what it is that we're doing, are we just going to have lunch? Because if that is, I might show up in slides. But if this is a date, then I might want to look nice. I need to know what we're doing and why we're doing what we're doing. And I just think at a certain age comes the need to be clear, to also know where are we going post this. Obviously, in the beginning, like when you're starting to know somebody, those expectations are low, right? You do want to see if you are going or if this person is somebody you should consider seriously. But if we're now 8 months in, right, I've been doing this for 8 months.
You still don't have the clarity.
Then what are we doing? Like, I feel like just age-wise, for me, it's a factor. To be asked or not to be asked is a factor now. Right? But I don't know. Now that you're older, maybe you don't require to be asked at all.
Okay, I'm gonna pose a question that might be a bit problematic. But I'm just gonna go for it. So, what do you guys think about like women who are already older, right? Who are feeling like, oh no, I'm reaching lactose status. Wait, first of all, wait. The lactose thing, I saw it on X and
Explain it.
I think it was even Shadaya who was like, hands over a certain age are like lacto now. It's like you're not fresh milk anymore. You're like lacto.
That is so. Yes, okay. Lacto is really good.
So
lacto
slaps hard. But anyways, my question was, what's the lacto age? What age?
I don't remember what he said the lacto age was.
I'm gonna assume anything over 30 is lacto.
Okay.
What are you saying? For the purposes of this conversation, if you're over 30, you're lacto.
Okay, so what's the question?
Okay, so the question is, I'm feeling some type of way about it.
You can't take us this far.
Okay, no, wait. The question is, right, if you are, say, over 30, right, and you are in this...
Lacto.
No, not lacto, please. You're in this situation for a year, right? And you're, I don't know, dating this man. Now, how easy is it going to walk away as a 33-year-old woman who has spent a good year of her life with this man? We hop from place to place. Like, he's at my house for 3 days of the week. I'm at his for 3, like I've met his parents, I've met his family. Like how easy, like on a real, how easy is it to walk away as a 33-year-old who has spent a year of her life already with this person?
But answer the question, how did we get to a year?
Yeah. No, because I'm the episode started with this scenario, right? So now I'm superimposing an age to say, at 33, I have now spent a year with this person.
I think it depends though. Like with the scenario, this person hasn't said anything to you. Like this person is not your boyfriend. This person is not your fiance. This person has not said anything along the lines of, we are going somewhere. That's a year waste.
Can you not assume a relationship?
No.
Like, if we're together for a year. Can I not just assume I am your girlfriend?
Assumptions do what?
Make an ass out of you and me.
Surely, at some point, you kind of have, even if he didn't ask you, even if he didn't say it out of his mouth, his actions and whatever is giving those vibes. So I'm just going to assume I'm your girlfriend.
Right, can I chime in?
Dangerous.
Because this is now getting into his home territory.
How?
So, see, my last... I want to say this with tact.
Your last assumption.
Yeah, see, so my last 3 relationships, right? They kind of started with... So, in this situation, it was the girls who approached me and it got to a point where it was like, it always started with like, yeah, so now we're dating. And I'm like,
Okay.
How long?
but it'll be like after like maybe 2 months.
So you're the guy in the scenario.
It was like,
Wait, so they say now we're dating, you say okay.
the thing is, you see what you was saying about kind of just popcorn. Right? So if someone's like, yo, we're together, right? And I'm just like,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, I mean, this makes sense. But then the thing is, it happened multiple times. So it's just like, now I'm actually now in retrospect going like, okay, maybe I should have set my own boundaries, Kuti. Look, because some of those issues ended up being issues because of the way it started. So some that's how it ended. It was just kind of like, but you know, because sometimes it gets to a point where the girl is like, yo, now
putting too
because
much.
all the ticks, you're now my nigga. And it's like, okay. Let's go with it, you know? And I'll be actually in it, but then the initial start of it was literally one of those situations where it was just assumed, like, you're already the dude, so.
See, and that was 2 months in, right?
So you didn't even, were you really like, kuspakwa but not kuspakwa enough to ask her out?
That's the question, isn't it?
It was like, I will say yes because I don't want to stop doing what we're doing. And if I say no, we're going to stop. So I guess let's go for it.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, but all those relationships actually were kind of long. They actually went for quite a while. So I was enjoying, but I think in the initial phase, because also there was a problem. You could see this relationship, what happens like, I'm out of a relationship, right?
You start talking to somebody else.
And then you start talking to someone else.
I'm talking to someone else, and then like to spark,
And then she says,
now I'm like in another relationship. So, but then I think on my side, I had to be like more, because sometimes when I just spark, I'm just like, yo, it makes sense. Like we already vibe, we spend time together, it's cool. Like let's go with it. But I think I should also be like on some typicity, like wait. What are we actually doing? Like where are we going? Because some of these issues, because there was things which I would be like overlooking, because maybe I haven't reached the point of asking out because of something I've noticed, right? But then now since those spark, like I was like,
You ignore.
You see, and that goes back to what I said in the beginning about that's your answer, because you're sixes of this world. As long as he's got nothing else better to do, he's going to say, okay, we're in a relationship. And you saying that, it actually lasted long, to me doesn't make it any better. Because what I'm getting is that there was no intentionality from you from the beginning. And you're just sort of going with the flow. And she's trying to put you into this flow. And it's just a matter of, is there anything better? Is there anything better for me to do? And it's not all bad. There's already reasons why I know I'm not ending up with you. But there's also some cool things.
Okay. I want to say was that in both cases, there was actually like a direction in mind, but then there were also like red flags which I ignored. And which ended up like later on becoming an issue. But when I got into the relationship, I was aware enough to go like, it wasn't like settling because I didn't have options. You know, because even with both of them, there were still other options at the time.
Okay, sir.
Okay, wait. Applications. But here's my question, Six.
Yeah.
From a dude's perspective, you are vibing with the person. You are 2-3 months into it. What makes you say, okay, let me ask this person out, let me not ask this person out? What is that turning point that says, okay, I want this to be a committed situation, or I want this to be a let's keep vibing?
I think it's one, like the phase of life I'm in. So you know
Just coming through.
Lacto.
Lacto, baby.
So,
Like, am I still in freshman?
so you know those situations where like a dude can be with a girl for a long time and then they don't end up getting married, but you find out like after like 6 months
So he's marrying someone else.
Yeah, and he's marrying someone else. So in those phases, like if like a dude, when they're not ready to be married, they're not ready to be married. Like it's just a real thing. Like you can't force or push. Like you can try, but like if it's not ready, it's not there.
But what makes you ready? What makes you be like, okay, now I'm ready? Because clearly, you might never be ready. That's why I have to push you. Because
But that's
what if you never get there?
Dependent on a person. I'm asking on a personal thing, like for you, is it dependent on I found my person, or the stage I'm at in life is I want to now get married, and then the next person who says, now you my nigga now. Then you say, I want to marry you.
See, that's a good question. Because now also here's my chat. You know how you just said somebody can be in a relationship with someone for a long time and then they don't get married. They meet someone 2 months into it, they're getting married. And now you're sitting there thinking, so was I the problem the whole time?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a phase thing. Definitely like sometimes, especially like towards like when you're getting towards like the marriage level, there's like a lot of things that
What's the marriage level?
it's like maybe it's like lobola, like probably at the beginning of your relationship you're like, yo, we're dating to get married, right? And now like the years have pushed and you're like, yo, this thing is happening this year.
Okay.
And then certain things happen because obviously there's a lot of things, because marriage also, there's a lot of external factors that contribute to marriage, right? It goes beyond your vibing together or because your context in your first year of your relationship and your second year or whenever you want to get married might be different now, right? And sometimes it's like there can be certain things on my side as the dude, which, you know, the hand goes like, nah, this, like, I can't be married to this person. Like, for this time that we spend together, in this context, it works. But in the context of us actually being together, married, it makes no sense.
Okay.
You know, so ultimately it's just a risk, to be honest. Like, it can go either way.
Good risk.
Good risk.
Okay, but still, what makes you say, I'm going to ask this girl out now?
For me personally, it's
Kuspapa.
Yeah, Kuspaka has to be there. But Kuspaka, but also peace. It's like, yo, this person, it feels like home. Like I don't have to be a certain way when I'm with this person. You know, because usually, like, kind of in a dating pool, if you're like talking to different people, some people don't really gravitate to who you just naturally are. You know, you don't feel like comfortable enough to be like yourself. So if I find a person who's like I can be comfortable with and I can be myself with, usually at that point in time, I'm just like, okay, you know what? Like, let's like lock this in.
Is it like a feeling? Is it like a burning sensation? Like, I want to be with this person. Like, you were with me for 2 months, right? And then there was a turning point that made you feel like, I actually want to be in a committed. Yeah, like what was it? What's that thing that like makes you say,
Can I venture something before you actually answer? Cool. Does it also have anything to do with your access to that person? and also depending on their boundaries. Because I think, like what we're talking about, the boundaries, to say that if you've already, what Chida was saying, that a boundary is more about you. So I feel like with a guy, you sort of scope or judge the girl based on the way that she presents herself. So if it's a girl that, fine, you guys get along, because I mean, these 8 months, whatever, people, obviously it's because there's been some kind of connection and you get along. But the question is really, what makes you then decide, I'm going to go out of my way to ask this person out and let them know what my intentions are with them, versus, well, they're at my house all the time already and I already have everything from in a relationship, so why am I paying?
Get the cow and the milk and the lacto and the
dinner or some weird girlfriend proposal. But then there's a girl who make you feel like, look, you're not getting that access to me if you're not gonna come and tell me what it is that you want.
That's a great question. So, okay, now I'm gonna share some tea. This is what the listeners want.
This is what we want. The listeners said, "Give us tea."
They want tea. All right. So, I was once in a situation where I was with a significantly older woman. Okay, not significant. I mean,
how much is significant?
5 years?
9.
9.
How old?
It's just an
Cool.
How old were you?
Okay, so at the time I was 26, and she was 35. No, so it was like okay, she was 34.
Still 8. 8 years.
I know.
She was lacto, and that's why she was having us sick. That's why. What? She couldn't now let him go. This was a chance.
So, but the thing was, I made it clear in this situation. I made it clear that look, I'm here for a good time, not for
a long time.
Right? I'm here for we're just having good vibes.
What?
But she felt like she was like, yo, let's go to my family. I was like, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that. Right? And then, so at that time, I was, because I made it clear, like, yo, I'm still playing the field. Like, this is not, like, I'm not exclusive. Like, we're having a good time right now. I was in talking stages with other people, right?
I have so many words.
And then one of these people was one of the people I talked about, where they were like, yo. And the reason I actually decided to date her was because
over Madame.
Yeah, over Madame.
You were jumping ship.
No, it was because, and this actually ties into boundaries so well, because she was the only Han at that point in time, right? Who, and this might be corny, but she wasn't trying to do anything.
Goosey.
Yeah, she wasn't loosey-goosey. She was like super strict. She was like, yo, if we're doing things, it has to be like this. Like, I don't play around.
She said her terms.
She said her terms, you know what I'm saying? So all the other hands was more of like, hey, you know, this weekend, let's do this and let's do this. It's high school vibes and whatnot. So it was kind of like, oh, damn. Like, okay, instead of whining, I can do something like completely different, you know? And like give her a chance. And we like actually, it ended up actually being like super dope.
I have questions about the other ladies.
Okay. That's good.
Where did you meet other ladies?
Yo, so...
And what made either of you think this was a good idea in the first place?
You see, the thing...
Life talker.
I'm telling you, it's a real team.
Alright,
good.
So crazy thing is like, both these people, I actually met them on the same day. But it's at different times. It's so weird. So I won't put it actually, right? The older lady. We met and she took a liking like to my music and my videos and stuff like that. But then she was very like about her business. Like on the chats, it was just like, yo.
When you coming through.
Yeah, she's like literally like on some, yo, I'm trying to link up, I'm like, yo. And for me, as you know, I'm like 26.
She give you money?
No. But she gave me experiences, so. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna lie. She was taking me out, I was like, yo, it's nice over here. I'm not gonna lie. She showed me some cool spots. I was like, oh, I was getting cultured, you know, wine and dine, you teach me. So I was like, yeah, it's cool. You So
Okay, wait. So here's my thing. Here's my other thing. So I have a hang up
okay,
about dating younger.
okay, cool.
You wanted to talk you into
I need to because that's young.
Yeah.
Right? Like even when I say I can't, like, already 6 months is a thing. Now a year.
6 months younger.
Yeah. Now a year. Now 2. Now 8.
Yeah.
Now here's my thing. I was saying this before earlier to say I think my thing is I know me, right? I might end up just blaming everything on your age. Like if we disagree on something, I'm gonna be like, you're a child.
Yeah.
What? You don't know. Let me, because I'm older, let you know because I have more life experience. Right? So in any conversation that we have, if we're having a fight of some kind, somehow I know me, it will boil down to you're a child. Like I will speak to you like I'm talking to my nephew. You're a child.
So you've
That's
never dated.
what I'm saying. But like, I get interested when girls do it because then I'm thinking like maybe. But I'm just thinking like think about like culturally, right?
Yeah.
Culturally, if I have to, I will not go on my knees to wash my brother's hands.
Yeah.
Right? You're not buying me doing that. I don't care. And he's older.
Yeah.
Right? But like, you know, in a setting where like if it's just a house calm.
Yeah.
But like you go to a funeral, okay, I'm expected to act in some kind of way.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna kneel for Anasekuru, I'm gonna kneel
So you
for
don't want to kneel for your husband who's younger than you.
By 2 months.
maybe 2 months I might be able to pull it off, alright? But 8 years on my knees.
Husband.
That's what husband. You see, how do we? We're not even getting to the point of husband. That's what I'm saying. We're not getting.
So why are you at a funeral with this man?
No, but I'm just. So what I'm saying, why I can't is because I'm imagining myself. I imagine myself, right, in a situation where I have to be on my knees to give you water, and I'm looking at you, looking at me, looking at you, thinking. You got me down here, and you are a child. You must wash my hands. That's how. In my mind, that's how it'll boil down to.
So you should.
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody who's younger than you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I know me.
Yeah,
right.
But
I know
But
me.
is it really that personal, or can that dynamic really work? Because I get what Kuda's saying. Because when, if you're now in a marriage, right? And this is the person who's supposed
This is the father of this household.
This is the father, right? And
you're 12.
Certain things, okay, let's say even if it's not 8 years, it's like 5 years younger. And if we consider that now, that's like 5 years of my work experience. Right?
Okay.
I can imagine a situation where it's like, okay, now real decisions need to be made. Like the grown-ups need to talk.
That's what I mean.
I think that respect is not
age.
about age.
I get it, but there's a very
I think it depends on the person though, because the assumption is to say that we've all had the same life experiences.
Yeah.
And that's not true.
That's
if you're dealing with someone who's actually mature, someone who's had a lot of responsibility when they were young, they might teach you a thing or two. Because I think it really depends on the person you're dealing with. Because some guys, I also had the same sentiments as Kuda, but I meet some people who I'm thinking, oh wow, you're actually like a level-headed person for a 26-year-old.
Because I will tell you, 45-year-olds who are childish.
Imagine a 25-year-old sweeping you off your feet.
You know what?
And he might actually be making really good money. He might actually be taking care of his family and whatever. Compared to the 45-year-olds you're exposed to who are actually childish.
Children. I mean, I hear you. But me in a fight, I don't play fair. And like, I know me.
But
and
someone like that
that's what I'm
affected by
That's what I'm talking about. We're not talking about the rosy times. Because I think it's the same question of when the woman is more financially capable than the man. I've seen it get nasty. And obviously when they met, probably they were from different classes, different worlds altogether. But then they found to say that, look, this guy didn't grow up the same way as I did, but then you found some common ground. When you meet, it's fine. Even, a few years down the line, it's still okay. Until you get to that point where there's a point of conflict. And the dangerous part is that becomes the default. And now,
that's gonna be
the things that you say will be touching on that particular thing to say that
his mother is going to look at me and say, Mbuya,
what are you
this
doing?
girl that you brought to my household, this Mbuya that is in my house right now, she's also looking at me sideways, right? What are you doing with my son who's younger than you? She's not going to respect me. She's not. She's not going to.
So I'd like to think that.
And she'll even be like 10 years older than you, right?
The same age as the mom.
I think when I was in the situation, a lot of these thoughts were actually also going through my mind, right? Because it was also a very awkward dynamic because it was my first time, being in a situation with someone who's older than me. So it felt weird also when we were in public because she was very PDA, I was like, yo, this is...
You don't want to be seen lambsing or 30-something.
You know what I'm saying? Because in my head, I'm just like, yo, this is different.
Very shy.
But then she was like, but then the thing is, on her side, she was always going you're super mature. I can see this working out. And I'm like, I don't see what you see. I can't see it. Literally. I don't see. Because how am I? Because my family doesn't play games. Go over here. What are we actually doing here, you know? And it was at a time, and to be honest, she was way more financially stable than I am. She was scooping me up and what. But I was like, it didn't matter as much because for me, remember, it was low. For me, it was low investment. It was just I was just vibing, It was, and I made it clear I wasn't leading her on that sort of thing. But she it got super serious on her side, to the point where we were sort of in let's say, which is also a bad thing. Let's say a business arrangement, you know what I'm saying? And then
she was giving you mine.
No, not like that.
She just called it a business.
No.
She was giving him experience. She was giving him a life. He got a lifestyle. It was not. She didn't get money, but he got a lifestyle that he wouldn't have otherwise had.
Okay, lifestyle. Okay, cool. But it was more of let's just say in a sort of career managerial situation. I'm saying.
She was your boss.
She was your boss.
Not my boss per se, but on my team. So it was not it got to a point where it got very awkward and she called me on, so I'm like, hey bro, now I'm compromised, we can't continue this because of this, and I'm like,
compromised?
Yeah, she's like, yo, I'm compromised, etc. I'm like, you know what? Because for me it was fun and games, but then when it started getting too serious on her side, I was like, nah, it'd be super irresponsible of me to just continue just vibing when someone actually now has feelings. So it was just now let's go.
Okay. Anyway, back to boundaries.
Inga, you've lived.
Back to boundaries. So then, the girl that you ended up going with, right? She had very strict boundaries.
Yes.
There were things that you couldn't play with and things you could not play with, right? Yeah. I'm going to assume there were times where, I know, how back in the day Steve Harvey tried to put us on the 30-day rule, or was it the 90-day rule? Right? He has the 90 days, if he hasn't done what he needs to do. And I know a lot of the honeys followed it, right? But that was basically to say we cannot have relations, right, within the first 90 days, right? Now niggas are counting down to day 91, right? Because now it's fair game. I don't know, because obviously if you tell him he's on a 90-day bar, he's going to just push through, right? At least he knows that there's an end game.
90 days is a long time.
3 months.
You have to be really invested.
These guys,
they will invest. Listen, these guys they will invest. They will do it. If you know it's going to come to an end. It's for them. It's
told you that these are the levels to the video game you're going to play.
It's the hunting, right? Like once I conquer my 90 days, I'm on 91. You have no excuses.
Now
we're gonna do it. Day 92, all of a sudden it switches up on you, and you're like,
Day 92, he's going.
I'm assuming she didn't put it in that way. She didn't say after a certain amount of time. But maybe it was, if you want me to go out with you on a Saturday, it has to be during the day. I'm not coming out at night. I don't go to bowers. I do painting.
Now I'll keep it 100. Like it wasn't on the table. Like relations, like there was even 90. It's like we don't do that over here.
Don't do that here.
It's
like at all, or
it was like at all.
So what were you like? Challenge accepted.
I don't know. I guess, but there was no countdown. There was no countdown. For me, it was like literally, hey, fam. Outside of marriage, like we don't play. Like,
we don't play.
We ain't trying to.
We're not doing my sport.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, what other rules did she have?
Boundary? Okay.
I did not push the boundary, but
you tried.
Fell.
The boundary was found to be like. But hey, but look, just 2 years, like a year, 2 years in.
Really?
I was cold turkey, yeah.
Hey there, lovely listeners. So listen. Running a podcast in Zimbabwe is quite the journey. It requires resources. And when I say resources, I mean money, time, and effort. Wondering how you can support us? Well, we've got you covered with Inbucks. Or World Remit if you're on the other side of the world and you'd love to contribute. Our Inbucks number is 077-810-3171. Whether it's the cost of a cup of coffee or a virtual high five, every little bit of your support counts. Remember, supporting our podcast isn't about funding our caffeine addiction, though it is in part, but your support keeps our podcast alive and thriving and helps us create more content, ensuring that our laughter echoes through your devices. Thanks again for being part of our community and for listening.
Okay, tell me something else. Tell me another rule that made you feel like this one over this one. What else? Besides that, what else was there? What other boundaries did she have that enticed you?
She was very intentional about the outcome. It was like,
we're getting married.
Like, I don't did this to just do this. It has to be like, there has to be end goal. Like, we're working towards this specific outcome.
Cool. And how old was she?
Because you were 26.
Dang. Okay,
no, but I mean, was she around your age?
Wait.
Older lady. Same day he met her.
Wait. 60.
But she was around your age. She was of age.
Was she around you?
Your age at the time.
Yeah.
She was around your age.
Yeah.
You're so wrong. Because how were you having business relations?
Look,
in the meantime.
I was.
Wait,
are we saying they interlapsed?
Is that the same day?
Didn't you say you met on the same day?
How did it interlap though?
You're telling me. That's how you're hitting me down. You are cold turkey.
Wait.
You're lying. You are not cold turkey.
Hold up.
Vindicate this hand.
Wait, hold up. So we met on the same day, but
you shouldn't tell us this thing.
I know. But no, it's cool. We met on the same day, but it was like, let's just say with this one, there was nothing. We didn't like immediately start the talking stage. There. This was like a later on development. It wasn't like concurrently,
But there was an overlap. Your math is not mathing.
Okay, fine. In his defense, he's saying, Madame, older lady, it was just my sports.
And immediate.
To him.
To him. Until she caught feelings.
Yes.
Right?
The feelings
But what were you doing with the other girl in the meantime? So you were not talking. You were talking to but it was just like we're friends, having a friendly conversation. I'm not trying to.
So he hadn't made any kind of commitment to anyone.
No. I'm talking from the point of engagement with the second girl and the point of disengagement with Madame. There's no way you just said, okay, fine, business over. Because she was talking about aunties and stuff. This is not a 3 month in. Because remember, we're talking about a certain generation here and a certain vibe. But anyway,
that's actually a good question.
Let's leave that to interpretation.
Yeah, let's leave it to
But there was an overlap.
Okay,
somehow.
Now, my question, right? I feel like there's such a thin line between boundaries in the Chido definition of boundaries versus like a set of arbitrary rules that we end up making in order to get a certain outcome. And I think it speaks to Chido's question earlier to say that does the age group of the woman matter? And I feel like it's this whole lacto generation thing where people are put in this hamster wheel of trying to chase or lock in a marriage in a situation where it just really doesn't work like that. I think it takes time to realize that it just, especially for guys, it just really doesn't work like that. The day he wants to marry you, there's nothing you're going to do to compel him.
Yes. This is true.
It's insane.
And that's a good question though, because so in the instance that we gave before, where you were dating a person, say you were dating for 2-3 years, it didn't work out, 2 months later you're married, right?
Yeah.
It's easy for me to say there's something that was wrong with me that made you not want to marry me. But whatever she has made you instantly feel like this is the person you want to be.
I think that's also not
like I think what Six was explaining, like when the first time you asked him what makes you want to ask someone out, it would be the same. What makes you want to commit to someone? Because if the guy is not at the stage where he wants to get married, you are going nowhere. It's him. And what is it? What's that? Those podcast people, those red pill people, sometimes they make sense. So sometimes they make sense when they say that the man is the one who has the keys to marriage. Because you can force someone all you want, but if he's not ready to commit to you, it's not making sense. You can say, I'm the best person, we're going to date. We are now dating 6. We've known each other for 2 months. We are now dating today. But if he doesn't feel like that's what he wants to do, he'll say, sure, let's do it. But it's not going to come out as you want it to.
No, and even you might force him down the aisle, child. You might walk. You might have the pictures to prove it. But if he's not committed to you, he will not be committed to you.
And I think I've had conversations with like male friends about this as well. Like I've heard so many stories where it's like, oh, Mukoma now is like, I'm ready to get married. The next girl he asked out was the girl that he was going to marry. Within 8 months, he was already, sorting out lobola, So
everyone, see, but here's what happens. I know a few guys who have said at the age of 30, right? I will get married, right? And for real, they got to 30, they got married. Those that got lucky got married, right? Now, as the hun, I know that Six says when he's 32, he's gonna marry me. So what I need to do is hang around Six until he's 32. And then the moment
that's not how it works. 32, he will dump you and someone else.
Right. You see, why am I reading so much? Anyway,
tell us the secrets.
I was in a situation where.
How many situations?
No, we're staying in the same. It's the same. Wait, the same.
Guys, there's no judgment. I'm just judging you.
No. But this is
I just need to keep count of
the situation. So when it comes to boundaries and like when dudes want to get married type thing, Man, I told sis Kuti, yo, me, I see myself getting married. Funny enough, at 32. I was like, 32. Around that time. That's my time. But she was of the period. I hear you, but that ain't gonna cut it for me. You know. And that should have been the time when it was like,
let's leave.
You know what I'm saying? But then, yeah, you couldn't it was spark, right? Yeah, it was spark. That's I guess that was also on my side, where it was kind of like I should have at that point. Because I knew, you're absolutely right. Dudes know, like we know, like at this time, like.
But I don't also want to, like, I get you taking accountability for your part in this, but I also think that sis should have also said, like, if she was really serious about, okay, I'm not trying to get married at 32. I'm trying to get married at 29, right? And if you were also adamant on I'm getting married at 32, then she could have also said, okay, thank you, but I'm trying to look for somebody who's trying to marry me now.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. Like, I feel like women, we also have that confidence to think we can change someone. The same way I told him, you're now my man. He should have then said, you're now my husband, let's do this. It was the vibe of the relationship. She said, I can change his mind.
Yeah, like if I'm good enough, right? If I cook well, if I'm available when he asks me to be available, if I do the things, like what is it? If I portray what you people on social media tell me is a good wife material, if I do that, then what are you? Now we break up and I don't understand why, because I've done all the things. I cooked, I cleaned, I laid on my back, I did, so what is it that you're now, why aren't you picking me,
and that's the problem, because don't let yourself be why aren't you picking me in the situation? Because I think it's just a rabbit hole to destruction. You might even get the ring, but then if you've had to persuade somebody like that, those same problems that were there in the beginning are going to come out in the end. And I think the logic behind marriage is so fundamentally different between girls and guys, because I feel like girls, it doesn't make sense to have an age to get married, because girls, you're more focused on the partner. Our important decision in a marriage is like literally choosing the right guy, because that's such a make or break decision. Whereas with guys, I think it's more about their capability and readiness to take up the role in the correct manner that's needed. So if he's saying 32, I bet you it's really a numbers game where you're thinking, at 32, I'm going to have my shit together. Or there's something you're working on now that you feel like you need to get to a certain point where you feel like, okay, now I can be father of the house. And there's nothing that you can do to make 6 to have that feeling, to say, I'm now capable, I'm now that man who can be a husband to somebody. And then when he feels like the husband, really the pick of the woman, I don't know, that now becomes another thing altogether.
You're not cooking. Like, that's literally how it plays. To a T, like
and
literally.
I think that's why also that ultimatum show doesn't work.
What's the ultimatum?
The ultimatum on Netflix, where
like this scenario, but a reality TV show.
So like
you're dating, and one of you is like, I'm ready for marriage.
Marry me now,
or I walk away. And then they go on a show, reality show. You go with your partner, and then you swap partners. And then you have like a trial marriage with your new partner for like 6 weeks.
The way Sis is smiling about the new partner.
No, I'm curious.
And then you go back to your old partner. And then you go back to your old partner for another 6 weeks. And then after that you decide, am I
leaving this new one?
Either into the proposal or a breakup or a promise ring.
But then a lot of the times, like even just the couples that do end up like getting the proposal, right? They're still proposed. They're still like, there's no, there was the Tabi girl and the other guy. He's like, oh no, I proposed, but then like
we're not there.
We're not there yet. So it's like, Saka, why did you do it? Like,
I don't want to break up.
But it was like pressure, because with that particular situation, his issue was lobola. He didn't think he was ready to do it, and I think it's a real thing. Because I mean, imagine from the perspective of a guy going to someone's family and you don't know what they're going to ask you for, and then they're going to
you don't have it,
and you're going to have someone make it happen. And I feel like for girls, it's a bit difficult to think about it that way, because you're like, oh, come on, it's
like we'll figure it out. And it's more like, I think we're also back to boundaries, right? We now in 2024, we're at the stage where we feel like maybe either our families can be unreasonable, right? Like they're going to count down the number of degrees that you have or whatever, right? And you think, okay, I know six might not have, my family will most likely ask for like a good 12. 6 don't have a good 12. 6 may not even have a good 3, right? But here's what I will do. Me and you, we're partners, okay? We're partners in this relationship. I'm a helping. But what I'm saying is, so I can't understand 6 when I'm saying to you, 6, I have the sheets. I have them. No. Just come. No. Right? Why are you but this is what I'm saying. If I now, as a girl, as a girlie, and my
what are you saying? No, women are doing it.
Women are doing it, but now is that should that be?
No, because this needs to be another
women should stop doing that.
Should that not be
doing that?
Should that be a boundary or not? Like if you can't pay the 12 your family's asking for, then leave it alone.
Ask your daddy. Who's your daddy, bro? Ask him.
Because then maybe it's like, am I being unrealistic? Like I know my family's unrealistic, so. And men don't have that just sitting around, lying around. But I know that eventually 6 has told me, babe, when I'm 35,
it makes sense.
Okay, I have big dreams and big plans. So all I have to do is bear with him now. When he's 35, we'll get the money. I'll get my money back. Yeah. So,
you know what?
Is that in itself supposed to be the boundary?
Next episode.
But you know what? It depends on the dynamics of the couple in question, right? Because even in that situation, like, also as the dude, like, you might, depending on the guy's insecurities, etc., you might be like, I can't. Like, you know, what are we doing? Like, it's gotta be, like,
it has to be me.
But then if it's like one of those where you are actually on that tip, you go to, you know what, we're actually like a team and this is what works for us. Like, I see that flying, and I'm sure like it happens, you know.
It does.
Yeah.
See, you could have watched them come back and say, man, I got married myself. Okay, this is now we're back in a fight. Okay, you're 8 years old younger than me, and I paid my own rota. Oh my god, what are you telling me? Don't turn your mouth in any kind of way and tell me some bullshit, because the next thing I'm gonna do is look at you and say, you didn't even have the money to pay for this. Okay.
But also men then do that as well.
Yeah, men do that.
You pressured me. You paid
for yourself.
I do what I want.
Yeah, this is your problem.
You wanted it. You wanted to run yourself.
You forced me into
You married yourself. You forced me into this. So live with it. Yeah, exactly.
Or they'll turn around and say, your father charged me 12K. I paid 12K. Shut up.
So you're my bag of rice.
Yeah. Like, listen. Like, if I tell you to make my guru at 3 a.m. in the morning,
You better
do it.
and I better be eating at 3:30.
I think all of this feeds into each other, because it, again, if it's a forced situation, whichever way, whether he had to come up with the money begrudgingly, it's going to feed into your relationship. And I'm really against you paying your own lobola, because I think you've already missed the whole plot. And I think it actually ties in so nicely with the whole boundaries conversation, because with lobola, I think he has to do it, because that's the boundary situation in real life. That's him saying that I'm going to be able to make a plan to take care of our relationship. And if that's the dynamic you want, then you have to let him cook. For me, I believe if he can't do it, then oh well, I'm sorry, sir. It's been nice, but you know what I mean. And I think he also needs that, and you also need that to get to the point where, because like, you know, I think my perspective on lobola has changed quite a lot after having to actually be in the situation where it's like, oh, okay, shit, this is something that's happening. And now, you know, I was laughing about it with a friend who's actually preparing to go and lobola someone, where it's actually like one of the most romantic things that somebody can do. He was arguing against the proposal and saying that, like, what's more romantic than what I'm doing, where I have to literally go into the bush and be finding a cows and whatever. And for me, I think it speaks to that intentionality that we're talking about. For me, the relationship where I've said to you, okay, we are dating now, and then you say, okay. I don't like it. I don't like it because that's not going to age well. I want somebody who went by himself and came to my father and said, look, this hand I want. And then my father, however unreasonable it sounds at the time, even if he wasn't capable, he had to literally go beyond himself to say that I'm going to do this thing and does it. If it's done in a healthy way where it's like really I'm challenging myself as a man, that's someone who I'll kneel for. At the funeral.
So if it's like with someone who's from a different culture, right? So let's say you're dating a white man or an Indian man, where I think in the Indian culture it's the opposite. You know, what would that type of dynamic like?
Yeah, but you want me, right? You know this is how it's supposed to be done. This is how you're gonna do it.
So, like,
but I want you too. So if you're Indian and I have to pay the dowry,
every culture
I'll take your money and pay your dowry.
Yeah.
In Western culture, it's the engagement ring. That's why a lot of people tie the value of the ring to, like, they put quite a lot of value to it because you say that if he's gonna go and get you like a dollar store ring to say, okay, let's get married, they say it speaks to his level of commitment.
It needs to be at least 3 paychecks.
You see what I mean? And it's the same principle to say that, like, it's the same principle as the girlfriend proposal, what we've been talking about this whole episode, to say he needs to, you're the prize. You need to. So if you are now buying your own
but
ring,
it sounds like a grand gesture type situation, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, a grand gesture, does it equate to like a commitment? And this is not me defending like deal beats, whatever.
Again,
It's more of a conversation like we all watch Acrimony, right?
Yeah.
Right? That's obviously heavily debated.
Who was wrong with Acrimony? 5 marks.
Right, 5 marks. So if, like, for example, a dude is in a situation in a tough spot, right, and he gets a ring, but you know he's committed, right? Because because I don't know if we can put like a way to quantify, because there's a dude who can put out like 26K for your Aurora and not like actually care for you. So I feel like also there's a tricky, there needs to be some intentionality also about all right, if I'm getting this ring, you know, it should be coming from a place of like, okay, it's because, you know, I want to express and like it's my intention, it's my way of showing. Because sometimes it gets into this, because a lot of dudes will be like, I can use it to buy a car, you know, because the intentionality is wrong. Because for some dudes, like, I have a lot of close friends who, like, it was the most romantic. They're like, yo, they made it a whole thing. We had to wear a certain thing. It was like a whole thing. But the intentionality, I think.
Yeah, because it will differ. For some people, it's nothing. But you also see it from the girl's perspective, where it's like, this guy is literally going out of his way to do this. And then it's like, well, this is just every other day. There's guys who just, no, I just send flowers. But he's sending flowers to so many different hands. Whereas there's someone who is just, it's the small things. It's not always the same thing. But there's a way that you kind of see that, okay, this person wants to go out of their way. I feel like men have to jump over.
And I kind of feel like if you are a grand gesture person, right, your grand gestures are, you can tell when something had thought into it, and you can tell when something had no thought, right? Like, if you are going to be the guy who puts me on a flower schedule every Monday at 9 p.m. All right. I know the flower is coming, but
it means nothing.
It's now my details are sitting there with Bloom Room, and they just know every Monday send her flowers. And then there might be something that we could be talking about generally on a drive to Pick and Pay that you pick up, and then 2 days later you action it, and I'm like, oh wait, you were listening, and that's a different. That could be a small thing, like I'm saying. It could be very small, but I know that in the moment you were actually intentional. You were listening, and then you decided, let me actually fix this for this person, right? When I came in here, I walked in complaining about car wash, right? And I was saying, if I get to the point where I get married, I should never have to worry about my car being washed. That should not be like a thing, right? And because it's something for me that I will take seriously, that for me judges where this relationship is. If I have to still clean my own car after I'm married, why are we still here? Why are we still... I don't get it. But that's a personal thing for me. But similarly, like I said, before this, I think it was the Valentine's episode, I don't know, where I said I like flowers, right? But if you want to put me on a timeline, I know that like they're just coming just to come, then I don't want them either, right? Just like the grand gestures are great, but I think there comes a point in a relationship where you move from grand gestures to like everyday interactions that you can be like, okay, no. Hey, something's happening here.
That's an animal's part.
Yeah,
right.
That's smart. So I wanted to give like just a bit of like pushback on the. You said like guys need to
jump
through hoops. Yes. Exactly, jumping through hoops. You see, this is why I feel like some things are just like natural, right? To come through. Like when you like a girl enough, like you are going to go through hoops with them. It's just going to be a natural reaction, right? But then I feel like there's also, it's a gradual thing to get to that phase, Because sometimes it's like, it might be even like initial interactions, right? Let's say I'm talking to a girl, it's cool, and then she asks or assumes something so early, and it's like, hey, this talking stage is done. Because it's like, what are we doing here? We are not even there yet.
I have boundaries too.
I have boundaries, So the thing is, I feel like two people, because ultimately, I feel like both people involved should be the prize to each other. Right? You have to be, because if it feels like the dude has to go through, it's already creates like
look at these princesses. These men,
I get what you're saying, but the timing matters.
Okay.
Because when I say jump through hoops, right? And remember when we said there's a difference between boundaries and then just arbitrary rule setting. I'm not saying like a girl is going to say, okay, do this, do that, do that, do this, do this. Or like, I mean, that's annoying for anybody. But it's something that you observe in him that you didn't really necessarily say, oh, do this for me. Like what Kuda was saying, that it's like you can see there's a slight difference in the way that you approach. So those are the hoops I'm talking about. Where I have to come and push you for every little thing. All right now, baby, let's are we dating yet? We're in a relationship. No.
Even like, please tell me, Six, what is this? What is this about the men and not doing dates? Because I need to understand. Right? I think Chido asked the question in the beginning, what is dating? Right? Because y'all hide behind the screen a lot. You're texting. Great. I just never see you. What is that about?
So
I don't get it.
To be honest on that, that's actually a great question, because it's a question I ask myself. So because I see a lot of women complain about that. Like, because for me, it's default setting. Like, if we're talking and I have an intention, we're going to meet up. We're going to actually have in-person time, whether it's lunch, whether it's an experience, etc. I thought this is normal.
Whether it's chicken.
Right?
No, but I feel like some guys, they'll say, yes, I want to see you, but there's no effort.
Yeah.
So let's have a date in my car.
I'll come see you and you pop at my gate.
Okay, so
you don't even bring a cascade.
Imagine.
But I've seen you. I don't drink, but I've seen. But bringing you food. But I think also, even in terms of the things that us girls require, right? If it's I require you to ask me out, that needs to happen. If it does not happen within a certain time period, I don't know how long. I guess it depends. Some girls within the first week, others within 8 months. That's on you, right? You set that up. But if that's your requirement, don't shift, right? If you require going on a date at least once a month, right? If he's coming to park outside my house, and then his thing is, but I've seen you, right? Like, you will complain, oh, I never see you. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm literally outside your house every 2-3 days. So what are you on, right? And you're like, that's not the same thing. But he's saying, you wanted to see me, you've seen me. You want to spend time with me, we were together for 3 hours outside. You're saying, no, I want to go, let's go do things, right? And then men will turn around and say, oh, she wants to just spend money. She's a gold digger. Right? That becomes a thing. But I feel like, if that is your requirement, once you start shifting from jump, right, then it becomes the expectation. I can't now say, take me to 3 monkeys if we spend 3 months in my car.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's gonna say, why you're now switching this.
You're now switching goalposts.
Because that's not what we were doing this whole time. But you have to set it at the beginning. Because if you are going with the spark, and then going with the flow. Because I think also the problem with girls is we don't want to feel like we're too overbearing or we have too many rules, or like, so you kind of want to go with the flow, but like sometimes the flow will drown you. All right,
it will always drown.
It will drown you, but you don't want to seem like high maintenance, because that's a thing now. You know,
high maintenance.
Honestly, I think it's, for me personally, it took a while to grow up. And I think it's also an issue of self-esteem and just getting to a point where you actually know what you want. Because I think, we've all gone with the flow in one way or the other. And for me, I would attribute it to immaturity and also just not really knowing what I want. So you're just kind of like, oh, okay, well, if this is what's there, okay. And then you're just learning. But if I could go back, honestly, I think I would have wasted so much less time, because I think we get into this point where you want to convince somebody to be a certain way or change somebody, and it's a waste of time.
I think a great slogan from this podcast was "Date your type."
Yeah.
So from the jump, you see, in my situations, even though like they started off as like, "Yo, we're going with the flow," it was like, we were actually going out, you know what I'm saying? We're doing things, like there's intentionality. But then a lot of dudes, if a nigga is not eating you up, like, let's go for dates and stuff like that. Yo,
he's not that into you.
He's just trying to eat. Like, it's just more of like, yo, just come through, like, let's vibe out, let's see. Nah, he's just,
And then you'll be breadcrumbed. Every now and then you'll do one little nice thing.
Once in a while,
then
you get to meet a friend.
Maybe he'll
and then you have to wait another 6 months because but then you hold on to like, but no, but like the last time he did this,
don't
like,
be the bird.
He actually brought me chocolate.
I think it was intentional, from jump. You'll be like,
But you see, this is what happens when you get stuck on too much, because now you can't let go. And if you do it for long periods of time, like if like my cutoff is 3 months, let it be 3 months, because now if I really catch feelings, I'm gonna take anything. Because now at this point, I'm too far gone. Hey, like I'm gonna take anything you give me because I really like Ndanakirwa.
And on that note,
also hi and all those things for us.
Follow
this is our podcast.